We've seen too many fights ending in dispute as a result of the judge's decision. Some fights were too close to call that human error might have led to unpleasant decisions. On other occasions, a boxer seemed to win, but an incorrect decision was made due to apparent corruption. With these fights, you may dispute all you want. Today, we share 6 of the most controversial decisions in boxing history.
Lennox has just been robbed.
Number 6. Oscar De La Hoya versus Felix Sturm. After losing to Tito Trinidad and Shane Mosley, the Golden Boy desired to face bigger names. Bernard Hopkins was the next name on his list. De La Hoya, on the other hand, would have to bulk up at middleweight to take on Hopkins. De La Hoya faced Felix Sturm, who was somewhat unknown at the time, in order to get used to the weight class. Since the first round, the heavier Sturm has been able to harm De La Hoya. Sturm was able to land 234 punches against De La Hoya's 188.
Sturm is pushing De La Hoya. Hard to get through that. Should have fought the whole night. Just bring it.
Despite that, Sturm lost the fight via unanimous decision.
Winner by unanimous decision and new WBO middleweight champion of the world, Oscar De La Hoya.
I think tonight, everybody, the whole world here in the arena, on the TV, on HBO, everybody see who's a better fighter.
Oscar, however, went on to fight Bernard Hopkins, getting knocked out for the first time in his career from a body shot. Number 5. Lennox Lewis versus Evander Holyfield. In 1999, 2 of the finest heavyweights of the time faced off. This was the first heavyweight unification match since Riddick Bowe notoriously threw the WBC title into a garbage can. Holyfield expected a knockout early in the fight, but Lennox Lewis outboxed him. The British fighter's jab was crucial in the fight as it held Holyfield at distance throughout. Holyfield appeared to be a defeated warrior.
Yeah, you got it. Uppercut for Lewis, not throwing many punches. Uppercut. If a Brit wins, it will be the biggest news.
At the end of 12 rounds, where the crowd in Madison Square Garden saw a one-sided fight get called a draw, the crowd criticized the decision, and even New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani called the fight a disgrace as well.
The decision is even a draw. Both champions retain their belts.
The two were made to fight again, and Lewis won the rematch 7 months later, although the fight didn't generate the same level of attention from the public as first.
Lennox Lewis has just been robbed of the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world.
Number 4. Pernell Whitaker versus Julio Cesar Chavez. Chavez won his first 87 fights and set a record by defending his lightweight championship 18 times in a row. In 1993, he stepped up to welterweight to face Pernell "Sweet Pea" Whitaker for the WBC welterweight championship. Whitaker was a skilled fighter who employed the stick and move technique to great effect against Chavez. Sweet Pea used a lot of movement and quick punches to keep Chavez off balance throughout the fight. After 3 close early rounds, the gap between these two became painfully evident to viewers. Chavez couldn't catch Whitaker because he was too slick, and when they fought on the inside, Whitaker got the best of it. Despite that, the first judge scored the fight to Whitaker, while the fight was declared a draw by the last 2 judges. Whitaker was definitely the winner.
Again, the strap. Oh, left hand. Whitaker, he looks nice and nice right hand. Left.
Whitaker with the left hand crisply. Let him. Too elusive.
However, before hearing the scorecards, he had a disgusted expression on his face. The decision was heavily criticized by the media, but Chavez maintained his undefeated record.
You can see the reaction of Sweet Pea Whitaker. He can't believe it, and frankly, I can't either.
Number 3. Manny Pacquiao versus Timothy Bradley. Manny Pacquiao's meeting with American Timothy Bradley in June of 2012 did not go as planned. Pacquiao would box brilliantly, beating Bradley to the punch on nearly every occasion. In 12 rounds of action, Bradley achieved nothing noteworthy and was frequently left confused as to how to deal with Pacquiao's style of boxing. Pacquiao, however, lost a split decision to Bradley in one of the most controversial fights in recent memory. Even Tim Bradley stated that he would have to view the footage after being questioned following the fight.
To the winner by split decision and new WBO welterweight champion of the world, the Desert Storm, Bradley!
And I think that is a terrible, bogus decision.
Number 2. Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler. Sugar Ray Leonard's split decision victory over marvelous Marvin Hagler in 1987 was one of the most controversial boxing decisions ever. When Hagler was scheduled to meet Leonard, he was the middleweight champion and had made a dozen successful title defenses. Leonard had only fought once in the previous 5 years after a 3-year layoff. The natural southpaw Hagler started the fight in an unorthodox stance and lost the early rounds on nearly every judge's scorecard. Hagler began to pick up the pace after switching to southpaw. He fought hard the rest of the fight and hurt Leonard at times, but he couldn't put him down. Leonard used the wide ring to circle Hagler and unleashed flurried blows at the end of rounds.
To get the range a little bit now, though, Tim. Finally got him in the corner, landed a left. The conditioning of these two athletes is extraordinary. 6th round. Even when Leonard misses, he's going to have to find it from somewhere. Oh, there we go to Muhammad Ali. A nice combination. There's a solid. That was.
After 12 rounds, Leonard won a split decision. After that defeat, Hagler never fought again. It's a battle that's still being debated, except for the widely held belief that Leonard won the first 2 rounds and Hagler won the 5th. Opinions on the other 9 rounds are still divided.
I beat him and he knows it, and everybody knows. I knew it was too close. I told you about Vegas.
Number 1. Parksy Hun versus Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr., the legendary multi-division world champion, will never forget the day he was robbed of a gold medal against the South Korean boxer. Jones, at 19 years old, impressed the crowds in the 1988 Olympics with his dominant ring boxing skills, quickness, and stunning combinations. Jones delivered 86 blows to Park's 32 and appeared to be on his way to win until the most scandalous decision in Olympic boxing history was announced. Park personally apologized to Jones after the fight. The 3 judges who scored against Jones were suspended by the IOC. The bad decision was intensely investigated, and a new Olympic boxing scoring system was implemented as a result.
Calling card and take off right there. Oh.
Well, there it is. Park Si-Han has stolen the belt.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, press the like button and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any new videos.